When players are drafted, there are always high hopes when they join their new teams. Their first few seasons are typically meant for showing off glimmers of potential or growing as they get comfortable in the league, but sometimes they become stars from the jump. For today's video, we'll be going through all 30 teams and selecting their best player under the age of 25 or rising star, and ranking them from worst to best, using both previous production and potential for the future as the basis for the list. Some parameters I set for this video is that not only does the player have to be under the age of 25, but they also can't have already made the All-Star game because those players aren't rising stars, they're already stars. Additionally, I didn't include any rookies on the list, as they have nothing to base anything off of yet at the NBA level. Before we get started though, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting at the bottom and working our way to the top, at number 30, we have the representative of the Houston Rockets with Gary Clark. The Rockets are a pretty old team with very few young players even on the roster, so unfortunately Clark, who barely did anything at all last season, is their representative and he ranks 30th out of 30. Next, at number 29, we have Dragan Bender of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are another team filled with older veteran talent outside of their leader Giannis, who would have qualified for this list because of age, but he's a multiple-time All-Star and MVP. Because of that, Bender's one of the team's only other options, and his career has looked bust-esque so far, and there's no guarantee he'll even be in the rotation in Milwaukee, so he too is near the bottom of the list. At number 28, we have Luke Kennard of the Detroit Pistons. Kennard was a first-round pick a few years ago who was drafted because of his shooting ability. While he has been a very efficient three-point shooter so far, he hasn't shown much ability to be anything more than that, so while he probably will have a solid career, his ceiling is very low. At number 27, we have Zach Collins of the Portland Trail Blazers. Collins is going into his third season, and so far he's shown that he can be a nice backup center option that brings positive defense and decent perimeter shooting. He too will likely be a nice rotation piece throughout his career, but again, just lacks the star potential. At number 26, we have Zhaire Smith of the Philadelphia 76ers. Smith missed almost all of last season because of a variety of injuries, but as a player, his impact will be made on the defensive end, as he's already shown off terrific defensive potential. He also possesses supreme athleticism and finishes strong at the basket, but until he gets more games under his belt, it's tough to put him too high on this list. At number 25, we have OG Anunoby of the Toronto Raptors. He didn't quite take the step forward that many thought he would from his rookie to sophomore seasons, and in the playoffs he was an afterthought, but he still has the ability to be a very solid 3-and-D player throughout his career. At number 24, we have Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets. Bridges is a terrific athlete that throws down jaw-dropping in-game dunks, but as a player, he doesn't necessarily excel in any one category. He has the physical tools, he just has to continue to work on honing his craft. At number 23, we have Thomas Bryant representing the Washington Wizards. Bryant had a very impressive second season after not getting much of a chance at all in his first season. He's aggressive on the glass, finishes very strong at the rim, and even has a nice face-up game in his arsenal. At number 22, we have Collin Sexton of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sexton's rookie season may have started slow, and his teammates spreading rumors about him definitely didn't help, but he finished the year very strong and showed that when he gets into attack mode, he's very tough to stop. At number 21, we have Andrew Wiggins of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wiggins may be one of the most productive players on this list if you're strictly looking at box scores, but in reality he's a one-dimensional ISO scorer that doesn't make anyone else around him better and is consistently one of the worst defenders in the league. Because of that, I have him in the bottom third of this video, especially with how many promising young players there are in the league nowadays. At number 20, we have Landry Shamet of the Los Angeles Clippers. Shamet was one of the biggest surprises in the rookie class last year, as he came out and shot the ball phenomenally from three, and made some big-time contributions to both the Sixers and Clippers, both of which were playoff teams. He has a lot of JJ Redick in his game, and is only just getting started. At number 19, we have Kevon Looney of the Golden State Warriors. Looney is one of the most underrated big men in the league and is a big part of what Golden State does. He's a terrific defensive big man that rotates well, protects the rim, and can even hold his own out on the perimeter. And while he may not be someone that creates his own offense, he does his job within the flow of the game, which is exactly what the team needs him to do. At number 18, we have Aaron Gordon of the Miami Heat. Gordon's played 5 seasons already, and while he has become a well-rounded player and above-average starter on a playoff team, the likelihood of him ever taking that next step into greatness is looking a lot less likely. No knock on him, he's still a very good player. There are just a lot of younger players with more talent and promise on this list. At number 17, we have Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. Bam's a strong center that rebounds exceptionally well, plays good defense, and even his offensive game has been much better than what people thought it would be coming out of college. Now that he's the full-time starter in Miami, he could be in for a major breakout season. At number 16, we have Derrick White of the San Antonio Spurs. White broke out on the big stage of the playoffs last season where he nearly doubled his production from the regular season and became a very reliable secondary playmaker. He's yet another player that Coach Pop has turned into a good player out of seemingly nowhere and has a very bright future in San Antonio. At number 15, we have Kyle Kuzma of the Los Angeles Lakers. Kuzma has proven to be a very difficult player to guard one-on-one, but overall he needs to expand his game past iso ball if he wants to elevate himself as a player. He doesn't really impact the game in any other way but scoring, which he does well enough with, but even there he has a ton of room for improvement in regards to his efficiency. At number 14, we have Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren's rookie season showed off his terrific defensive potential and his already reliable jump shot. He has a lot of the things NBA teams love from their big man today, and the fact that he's somehow only 19 years old means he has a ton of time to develop. At number 13, we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. SGA is long and crafty, with very high potential on both ends of the floor. He uses his length to be a disruptor on-ball defender, and offensively, he's a very well-rounded playmaker. In a new situation in Oklahoma City where they give him more control and freedom, he may be in for a massive breakout season. At number 12, we have Caris LeVert of the Brooklyn Nets. LeVert started the year hot, looking like a potential all-star, but then he got injured, and when he came back, it took a while for him to get back into the swing of things. By the playoffs, though, he was back to looking like a big-time shot maker, as he was easily the team's best player in their playoff matchup against the Sixers. At number 11, we have Julius Randle of the New York Knicks. Randle had a highly productive season last year, averaging 21 points and 9 rebounds per game, which are great numbers for a season. He's an absolute bully in the paint and has a nice developing jumper, but the reason he's not in the top 10 for me is that the players above him, in my opinion, either already do or have the potential to produce just as much while also impacting winning in a much bigger way. Starting off the top 10 now, we have Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. Turner has already established himself as one of the best rim protectors in the NBA and is the anchor in the middle of a solid playoff team. His offensive game hasn't quite developed as much as many thought it would, but he's still a capable perimeter shooter and good finisher around the rim, which is good enough. At number 9, we have Lonzo Ball of the New Orleans Pelicans. This choice was tough because both Ball and Brandon Ingram are good candidates, and while Ingram might be the better player in the present, as a rising star, I believe Ball has more potential to be great. When healthy, he's an absolute force on the defensive end, disrupting plays and forcing a ton of turnovers that lead to easy points for his team. And offensively, while his jump shot has been disappointing, he's still a phenomenal passer and playmaker. At number 8, we have Lauri Markkanen of the Chicago Bulls. Markkanen is another player that could fall under the unicorn category, as he's 7 feet tall with very good ball handling ability and a scoring package reminiscent to a guard in many ways. As long as he stays healthy this season, he might surprise a lot of people with how good of a year he could have. At number 7, we have Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. Murray is an explosive scorer that can catch fire at any moment and light up an opposing defense. With that said though, he's also pretty inconsistent and his efficiency wavers. Whether or not he ever becomes an all-star is yet to be seen, but Murray at his best is a great player. He just needs to be the guy we saw play great in the playoffs more often. At number 6, we have Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. Trae may not have started the year off very well, but in the second half of the season last year, he was lighting defenses up on a regular basis. He's a walking 20 and 10 machine that can shoot from anywhere on the floor and create for others with the best of them. He may never be a good defender because of his physical limitations, but offensively, he's going to be a force for a while. Starting off the top 5 now, we have Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics. A lot of Tatum's reputation and supposed potential as a player comes from what he showed during the 2018 playoffs, because last season, both during the regular season and playoffs, he regressed a little bit. When he's on, he can be a top-level scorer, and he's always been a plus on defense, but he may not be anywhere close to being the next all-time great Celtic that many fans thought he was going to be. At number 4, we have De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings. Fox played so much better last year after a lackluster rookie season and now looks like someone on track to being a multiple-time All-Star. He's fast as hell, which helps him blow by defenders, finishes well at the rim, and does a very good job orchestrating an offense. I like his game a lot moving forward and think he still has so much more untapped potential. At number 3, we have Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. Booker's put up scoring numbers that very few players in the history of the game have put up at his age, and overall, he's been one of the most productive players in the league over the past few seasons. The problem, though, is that he's been playing on one of the worst teams in the league, so his numbers have been a bit empty. Don't get me wrong, he's still an absolutely phenomenal player, but the lack of meaningful basketball played plus his known defensive struggles hold him back from the 2 other players on this list ahead of him. At number 2, we have Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz. Mitchell, like Booker, is a very high-level scorer very early in his career, and had the ultimate green light on a playoff team. While there are many nights that he torches teams and leads the Jazz to wins, there are also times where he takes a ton of bad shots and shoots the team out of the game, especially in the playoffs. Now with a very talented roster around him going into next season, he should be much more under control on offense, and moving forward has the makings of a great shooting guard. Lastly, at number 1 on this list, we have Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. Luka was almost an all-star immediately as a rookie, and for good reason. He put up 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game in his first season, and proved the skeptics wrong about him being able to translate to the NBA game. The sky's the limit for this kid, and from here, many bigger things are on the way. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.